Well, what an interesting game that was. Liverpool 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1 at Anfield in front of 2,000 Liverpool fans, and Liverpool now, in my opinion, have taken a massive leap towards retaining the Premier League title this season. And overall, I thought it was a lot better game than we did expect, because of course we do know how Mourinho sets up in these type of games, especially away from home in front of fans as well. I think that definitely played an impact in today's performance from Liverpool, and the way Mourinho actually thought of it, because of course against the big teams he likes to sit back, soak up the pressure, and hope to catch them on the counter-attack, which they did once of course with Heung-min Son, but in the end it just wasn't enough to beat this Liverpool team, who of course do have a lot of attacking talent themselves, and it was always going to be a difficult game for Spurs, I should say, but yeah, overall in the end Liverpool just about nick it with Roberto Firmino, magnificent header from a corner in the 98th minute of the game to put Liverpool to the top of the table, and in my opinion give them the main initiative to retain the Premier League this season. So yeah, overall I feel like Liverpool massively deserved the win. I thought they dominated the game for the most part of the game. I actually did think that Spurs had quite a few chances themselves, but I purely think that was because Liverpool were going all out attack, and Spurs obviously had a lot more opportunities to attack because or go on the counter attack I should say, because Liverpool were going for it rather than, you know, sitting back and trying to do the same thing that Spurs do to Liverpool. In the end, a really fluke of a goal from Salah, I have to say, but I'm not going to complain because it was deserved, but really fluky goal from Salah, whose pot shot really just deflected off Alderweireld and flew past Lloris into the top corner of the net, and then a few minutes later Heung-min Son catching Liverpool on the break, a brilliant ball through from Giovanni Lo Celso, and slotting it brilliantly past Alisson into the bottom corner to make it 1-1 after like half an hour or something. And yeah, of course, as I said, in the 90th minute, I mean, Spurs in the end were, kind of sitting out for a draw, which I don't really blame them, because Mourinho, I think, did the right thing overall, and there's not really much they could have done. I think it was a bit of an individual error from the corner because nobody really picked up Roberto Firmino, but even still, what an incredible header that is from Firmino. The leap, the accuracy of the header, the power of the header, just absolutely everything to do with that header was absolutely phenomenal from a player who you wouldn't really, think is a master of a headering of the ball. So yeah, Roberto Firmino, brilliant goal from him, and obviously a massive goal in this title race as well for Liverpool. But yeah, overall I feel like Liverpool now, as I keep saying in this video, are probably the favourites. They were the favourites already in my opinion for the Premier League title, but I think this definitely cements them as Premier League favourites, because I think, even with the injuries they have, the likes of Van Dijk, who's still missing, Joe Gomez gone for the end of the season, if not most next season as well apparently. They did have Alisson, Alexander-Arnold and Henderson back today, who were kind of injured as well over the last few weeks. Obviously Thiago's still missing as well. Jota's gone for 2 months now as well. So Liverpool, even without, we said they'd crumble without Van Dijk, but really they've gone from strength to strength. It's almost like they've just come together after Van Dijk's injury, and that's overall the team spirit they have still with Jurgen Klopp. I mean, Jurgen Klopp is he's the best manager in the world in my opinion. I've said that multiple times on this channel. I do believe he's the best manager in the world at this moment in time by a country mile. I mean, he's just an absolute motivational expert. I don't know how he gets the best out of these players week in, week out for the last 3 or 4 seasons with the high press and energetic style of play they use. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible to me. But yeah, overall I thought they deserved the win tonight, and as I keep saying, I think they're massive favourites for the Premier League title now, and if I'm honest, I'd be absolutely stunned if they didn't win it now, purely because we've seen tonight that Spurs clearly are beatable, and yes, of course Spurs will definitely be in there, and they will probably take it to the last few games of the season. We saw last night that Chelsea clearly aren't ready yet because they just look so average without wingers, if I'm honest. Manchester City, I'd never expected them to be in the title race this season, if I'm honest. They just look way too shabby, and to draw at home to West Brom, just not a good result whatsoever. And there's no other real teams that are in the title race. I mean, I know some people will say United, even though United they're just too inconsistent to win the league, let's be honest. Southampton are in there as well, but let's be honest, Southampton just will not compete, even though I think they're like third on the table at this moment in time, doing really, really well, and we're unlucky not to win against Arsenal tonight, if I'm honest, with an Arsenal team that had 10 men, which Liverpool once again today. And another player I want to point out actually is Jordan Henderson. Now, Jordan Henderson I thought was very, very good tonight as well, and the difference he makes on this Liverpool team I think just very much goes under the radar. I mean, even just vocally, he brings a lot to this Liverpool team. He's an absolute workhorse in midfield. He never stops running. He's got a very good technical ability, which I think is very much underrated by a lot of people as well, because I think he's very good in the ball. He's very relaxed on the ball. He brings a calm presence to that Liverpool midfield, and overall I think he's a massive impact on this Liverpool team and how they do play. I thought Reese Williams, who came in for obviously Joel Matip, who I think picked up a back spasm injury during the weekend I should say, against Fulham. So Reese Williams came in, I think he's like 18 years of age. Thought he handled himself very, very well in what was a massive game for him. Obviously he kept Son on side for the goal, but I don't really think that's his fault, because it could have happened to anybody really. But yeah, overall I thought he did very well. He looked like a calm presence. He looks like he's cool on the ball as well. He looked like he didn't let the nerves of a massive game get to him, because let's be honest, this was probably the biggest game of the Premier League season so far, and yeah, he handled it very, very well under pressure. Yeah, another player I thought that was actually very good today was Curtis Jones. He really seems like he's coming to his own in this Liverpool team. I did a video reaction for the draw with Fulham at Craven Cottage at the weekend, if you want to go and check that out, and I thought he was very good against Fulham as well. Yeah, he's really a player that I think will get a lot of minutes under Jurgen Klopp now in this Liverpool team, especially with all the injuries, and yeah, he's keeping some very good players out of this Liverpool team as well, like likes of Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I know James Milner's injured, but even still I think Jones would probably be starting ahead of Milner in this team at the moment due to the fact that he's doing so well. I thought Mane, Salah and Firmino, the three up front, were causing Spurs a lot of problems as well now. Obviously they had a lot of time on the ball because Spurs, as I said, just sat back, and they did well for the majority of the game, Spurs, because as I said, they were trying to catch Liverpool on the break, and they did that relatively well. And yeah, overall I think they'll feel very hard done by the defeat, but overall I think it was deserved simply because Liverpool just dominated the game. But yeah, as I keep saying in this video, an absolutely monumental victory for Liverpool, because yeah, as I keep saying, it puts them well and truly in the driving seat for winning the Premier League title this season. And as I said before, if Liverpool somehow win the league this season, which I think they will go on and do so, especially after that result, it's just Jurgen Klopp deserves so much credit, because as I said earlier on in the video, what he's done with this Liverpool team, without the presence of Van Dijk, without Joe Gomez, their starting two centre backs, even though Thiago, who's been their marquee signing of the summer, Jota gone for 2 months now, so they don't have much depth off the bench. I mean, Klopp, he just deserves an absolutely massive amount of credit. And yeah, I mean, if they win the league this season, I think it's all down to Jurgen Klopp and his managerial style. Which I think that's where we're going to leave this video. So I apologize if this video was really short. I just felt like I wanted to give a few thoughts on this game and then get it as quickly uploaded as possible. And yeah, so if you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the video. 15 likes as per usual would be massively appreciated by myself. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, because we are already closing in on 900 subscribers. So if you could subscribe to the channel, it costs you absolutely nothing and makes my day. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.